So we go over here to the Storm, who we're in single digits now in terms of how many games are left in the WNBA regular season for the Storm. There's a very, very minuscule chance that the Storm could make the playoffs still. I think that was out of question for a while, maybe even before the All-Star break, but I digress. 2 games over the past week for the Storm, both of them against the same opponent, the Minnesota Lynx. August 18th versus the Lynx here at home at Climate Pledge Arena, a 70-78 loss, with our photo of the game here by Brian Saldana as Jewell Loyd tries to get to the basket, kind of struggled with efficiency in this one at home as the Lynx jerseys were pretty nice in this one. I kind of like those. But our player of the game is not Jewell Loyd. It is another guard, Sami Whitcomb. Sami, 23 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, and 1 block in this game. Also in this game with her second three-pointer of the night, she hit 1,500 career points, with 78% of those points coming in a Storm uniform. I believe it was 78. So they lose this one. A lot of things that the Storm could have corrected. They did a lot of good things, but they didn't do enough good things to get the win over Minnesota. They got within 7, but that was the closest that they would get late. They would get a day off to travel to Minnesota to begin a 3-game road trip before they come back anyway. And they would correct those things and get a win in Minnesota at the Target Center, an 88-74 win. Our player of the game, guard Jewell Loyd, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Jewell kind of back to herself this game. She made some history as well, Jewell Loyd. This one, there was actually a lot of history and milestones and things of that nature in these Storms here. I apologize. We're having some technical difficulties, which is never good. Get over there though. Yeah, a lot of history for Jewell in this game as she kind of got back to the torrid pace that she's been on for most of the season. Some history for Kia Nurse, some history for Dulcy Fenka-Mengiadu. So I believe, though, the first one, yes. So Kia Nurse's first. Oh, wait, there's an Ezzy one, too. Okay. Ezzy Magbagor recorded her second assist of the night in that first quarter, giving her 150 in her career. Nearly half of those this season. Oh, wow, she has nearly half of those this season with a career high 74 assists this year. Oh, well, okay. Kia Nurse's three-pointer at the end of the first quarter gave her 1,500 points in her career. She becomes the 186th player in WNBA history to score 1,500 or more career points, and the 17th player out of UConn to do so. Jewell Loyd with a three-pointer to give her 11 points on the night and 702 on the year. She became the 13th player in WNBA history to score 700-plus points in a season, and only the third Storm player to do so, behind Breanna Stewart, who did so in 2018 and 2022. Excuse me, and Lauren Jackson, who did so in 2007. Jewell Loyd had a block on a breakaway attempt to give her 71 career blocks, moving her into the top 10 list on the Storm's all-time list. Only one behind Sue Bird for 9th. Dulcy Fenka-Mengiadu pulled down her 10th rebound of the game. She ended up with 15 on the game, marking her 4th game this season with 10-plus boards. She's only the 4th Storm rookie to record 4-plus games with 10-plus rebounds, joining Breanna Stewart, Lauren Jackson, and current teammate Jordan Horston. Jewell Loyd, with her 4th three-pointer of the game, gave her 26 points. It was her league-leading 14th game of the season with 25-plus points. Jewell Loyd hit another three-pointer to give her 31 in the game. It was her league-leading 10th 30-plus game of the season. No one has more than 5 of such games, which is pretty remarkable to think about. She's the 4th player in WNBA history to score 30-plus in 10-plus games in one season, joining Maya Moore, Deanna Taurasi, Tina Charles. And Tina Charles. It is just the 5th time in WNBA history that a player has scored 700-plus points through the first 30 games of their season, joining Deanna Taurasi, who did so in 2006 and 2008, Maya Moore in 2014, and Lauren Jackson back in 2007. So a lot of history there for Jewel. And while I talked about Jewel for a lot, I went with Sami Whitcomb as my player of the week. Over the past 2 games, Sami 16.5 points per game, 1 rebound per game, 1.5 assists per game, and 1 block per game. Sami has really sort of stood out as a key contributor, especially since she began to get the start as the point guard for this team as the second half has rolled on. And, she's not the traditional distribute the ball very, very well sort of player, but her offensive ability helps open up the offense just a little bit more, gives Seattle another scorer on the floor with their starting lineup to help out Jewel Lloyd a bit, whether that be actually hitting buckets or giving them more spacing. So it's been impressive to see that. I was wondering what sort of impact that Sami would have when the team signed her in the offseason. And I didn't really expect her to get extended periods of time as the point guard, let alone start as a point guard. But it's been impressive. It's been impressive to watch, and it's certainly helping the team out. Oh boy. So, you know, um, yeah, so the injury report for the past 2 games, both of them still Gabby Williams out with her left foot injury. Not too much changing there, unfortunately. Would like to see Gabby get back, but unfortunately, obviously, she's likely done for the season. Seattle probably not getting her back there. So Seattle sits at a 10-win, 22-loss record. Oops. Okay, I was gonna click the Lynx thing again. I was like, I don't think they play them again. They sit at 10th in the in the entirety of the WNBA, 5th in the Western Conference. Looking ahead, their next 2 games are on the road, starting with August 22nd at the Chicago Sky, which is a 5 p.m. Pacific time start time. If you are in the state of Washington, you can watch on Amazon Prime Video or Fox 13 Plus. August 24th at the Indiana Fever is a 4 p.m. start. That one is on Amazon Prime Video if you are in the state of Washington. So closing some things out there, Seattle will look to avenge a loss to the Fever from the last time those teams played. And then August 27th to round out, to start a homestand there after rounding out that road trip against the Fever. Seattle will play Chicago once again, the second time in 3 games, at home at Climate Pledge Arena with a 3 p.m. Pacific time start. That will be on Amazon Prime Video and Fox 13 Plus. So I believe also that this game here against the Fever, if you go to the Fever Facebook account, they'll be streaming that live if I read their schedule listing correctly, which is kind of interesting. One of these games will also be on Twitter as well. It's still listed as Twitter on the WNBA website, so that's nice to see. I'm not going to call it the other thing. So there's more than a few ways to watch these games. I think we'll try to have that under our game day posts when we say that where to watch these, because I have it listed on the game day graphic, but there are more than a few ways to watch some of these games. So